Linda is not here on campus today,
Okay.
but if you wanted to, if you felt comfortable approving that RFP for the health insurance, it's all set as far as she's concerned.
Oh, okay.
And then she can get that moving.
All right, thank you.
Exactly 10 o'clock.
Thank you.
August 5th.
Are you okay?
Yes, I just dropped my phone.
Lifeline.
Maybe I broke it.
Thank you. We are going to call to order the meeting of the Board of Commissioners for Monday, August 5th, 2024. It is 10:01. Please join me for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do we have any media questions? Don't see any up there.
No.
Okay. Public comment?
Yes, Fred Kane for Wolfboro. I have a question in regards to posting meetings. You have posted meetings for the trustees, and you posted it that it's in this building, and then all of a sudden you adjourn and move to another building. Shouldn't that be posted that the meeting location is going to be changed?
You're talking about the meeting for last week, wasn't it?
They had it in here last time.
Right, but it's not posted, and you went over to the deeds there. Shouldn't that be, and you were gonna head over to the deeds, and you decided to change it while you were here?
I think, if I could, I think that, so the commissioners recessed, and then the trustees met here, as it was posted, right? And then they had a non-public over at the registry.
Yeah, they decided to meet here at that time instead of going over there because Joe was here.
Yeah.
So, but that isn't the way it was posted originally, so I think, and in the previous, they've gone over there. And also, I'd like to know, is the county on the new server yet?
Not to my knowledge.
What seems to be the holdup on that? I thought we brought in a computer person to tie us in and get us up and going in a short period of time. It seems to be quite some time now.
Because they're rebuilding the whole system, Brett, so it's not done in a day.
You know, and according to the meetings, it was going to be done in a relatively short time. We've been over a year now. And also, in your agenda today, you have the payroll for August 8th of $254,776.85. I want the people of Carroll County to realize that there's another roughly $58,000 on that for agency staff. The HR is still not getting the job done to bring people in for the nursing department at the nursing home. You can look at the money that's being spent, and it's going up. It's increasing every month, month by month, and at the rate we're going now, we're going to be over double what we spent last year. We hired a new administrator. He's been there 10 months, and that was going to be one of his things, to get agency costs under control, and it's still going up. I think it still needs to be addressed. And when the county was fined $101,192, they said it'd be a year before we could have any training in the building. That has been 16 months now. Do we know if they're doing any L&A training or M&A training in the building now? Isn't that something that maybe the commissioners should look into, to see if we could get some training in the house there, where we're looking for L&A and M&A staffing, that should be on top on the priority. I know the administrator said it was gonna be his top on priority, and he was gonna petition to the state to get that 1 year removed. Well, it's been a year and 6 months now, and we have no answers. Thank you very much.
Melissa, would you care to give Mr. Kane a copy of this that went out to the delegation?
Sure.
You can
If
have
you
one
want,
copy.
or I can get you another one?
Yeah.
Sure. Yep. Thank you.
Shows we're not all in the same, we're all in the same boat.
Yes.
Thank you.
That was an update from the one in February.
Okay. Okay. We can go for approval of the minutes for July 25th.
So moved.
Second that?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Accounts payable for July 30th, $111,245.62. Accounts payable for August 2nd, $210,474.67. And payroll for August 2nd, $254,776.85.
Motion to approve.
I'll second that as well.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We will go into recess for Hale's location.
10:07.
So we have the minutes. Hales. And, well,
There wasn't much on it, if I remember
No.
correctly.
no. Okay.
Motion to approve.
I'll second that.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And I did receive a message on the phone over the weekend from Trevor Sullivan, the GM at Hales, and he said they are very close to coming to an agreement, and he will keep updating us. So that's all I have for that.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
the general contractor or?
Manager,
The general manager of Hales?
Hales,
Okay.
Well, he's the general manager of the
the hotel.
hotel, White
Okay,
Elm
thank
Hotel.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I talked to him also. He said
Yeah.
they're getting very close to.
And an agreement on what?
Design for the septic.
On the design, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. That's it. Okay, well, we can go back into our regular scheduled meeting
10:08.
at 10:08, and I see that Sheriff Chardy is not here yet, so why don't you come on up, Sean?
Thank you. Just need a minute of your time here. Excuse me. Bringing before you today is it's just basically mutual agreement, contract agreement in regards to business. Basically, it's protections with HIPAA. So basically, as you know, Prime Care does our medical, is our medical provider, contracted medical provider for our inmate services and inmate medical care. So all this really agreement is really about federal protections, particularly under HIPAA and stuff like that. So when there's an officer there sitting in a room and a doctor might be doing a physical on somebody, they're not going to discuss their physical nature or medical issues or whatever outside and blah, blah, blah. So it's a standardized agreement. This was done a few years back. We just, of course, renewed our contract with Prime Care in May. So this is just a updated renewal to that. And all I'm really looking for is hopefully I can get authorization for you folks to sign this as where it's a contract. It's a contractual agreement. So I'm just looking for authorization so that I can be the authority to sign on your behalf.
Question?
Question?
Has this been a problem in the past?
No, this is just standardized forms. I should say not that I'm aware of.
Commissioner, any questions?
Well, I guess not. Just the question I really have is, should we, since we did just, or we are approved an outside counsel liquor contract, should we have somebody looking at this before we do it? Since it is a contract?
we run it, do we
Right.
run into situations where somebody would be in position that they could pass on information? I mean, they're in the room or something like that?
Yeah, whenever the doctor or PA or even nurse is seeing any of our inmates, there's an officer in the room as well for safety and security reasons. That has to
Makes
happen.
sense, sure.
Whether at their hospital or wherever it is. And all this agreement is basically this discussion of all that area is about making sure they're not talking about this individual's medical conditions or, issues to the outside public or sharing the information to other inmates or whatever else. It's just protections across the board on both sides.
Thank you.
I didn't read it because we just got it, so
Yeah. And if you want to wait until next week, that's fine too.
I would prefer to do that before I vote.
That's fine.
Okay, yeah, we can wait till next week.
Okay.
That'd be
Because
great.
you're coming in
Thanks,
for
Sean.
other stuff next week.
I believe possibly.
Okay,
That'd be great.
All right,
okay.
Thanks.
Cool.
Thanks, Sean.
no problem. Thank you.
Madam Chair, while you're here, do you want to vote to appoint Brian King to the New Hampshire Association Executive Committee? Sean, did you want to speak to that?
Yes, we have an executive committee meeting, actually, we're going to meet on the 12th, and we have another executive meeting later on this month, I don't remember the date exactly. So I was looking to have Brian
Yep,
signed off as a voting authority, and I'm hoping that can happen, get a letter be sent out.
yep. I don't see any problem with that. Okay.
Right,
Who's on the executive committee now?
Sean,
There's myself, there's,
Linda,
there's, and
Rich,
Rich, pretty much everybody within the county.
And myself.
Yourself.
Yeah, those four. So we do have an extra vacant
there's
spot.
five, because you
we're
said
allowed
that
five.
you didn't want to, usually there's, the commissioners are there, but Bill said he had no interest.
Of course, Brian's basically going to be, I'm departing, so
Yeah,
Brian's
your
going to
Brian's
be
gonna be
replaced.
taking your place.
But meanwhile, he's attending these, so,
Yeah,
just give him, we have a superintendent's meeting on the 12th too, which is next Friday or this Friday, I'm not sure what's the 12th, is it next Friday?
no, next.
Yeah, so.
Okay.
All right,
Yep.
thank you.
Madam Chair, does that require a motion to
No.
appoint?
Not normally.
No,
I just,
no,
yeah.
normally it's just an executive letter to be
Yeah.
signed. So. All set? Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, what do we got next? So, yes,
Linda's not here, right?
Ron is not here. So, do you have any questions on the RFP? That's, I don't think, I don't have it in front of me, but
No, I don't either. Just waiting for Linda to tell us.
Is it in your,
no,
I didn't put it in your packet, I just emailed it to you? Oh.
no. The handbook is here.
In section 6 for the commissioners that have their binder, is it not in there?
Let's see if it is. It is.
Okay. I'm sorry, Madam Chair.
Just right, just fine, I don't have the binder with me. But the other two, I trust their judgment.
Do we have to approve this, I take it?
Yeah, we usually vote to allow the department head to issue the RFP.
I'll make a motion for that.
I'll second that.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you.
Aye.
Just messaging the sheriff, see if he's coming over.
Okay. The software contract,
That should wait
also
for
Linda?
That should wait for Linda, so she can explain it.
Yeah. Okay.
There's no rush. So.
You making any progress on this roof project?
Still waiting for Bob. I guess while we're waiting, I can say that I did attend the ceremonies or the celebration for Mr. Babson yesterday. It was very nice. There was probably well over 100 people there at the Remnant Museum. I was a little saddened that there weren't more people that actually worked with him politically there. It was, yeah, because he'd been, you know, I felt that whether you agreed with him, disagreed with him on policies, whatever, the man put a lot of time, gave a lot of his time to the state as a state rep for many years, and also as a county commissioner for many years. So, but there were a ton of people there.
I'm sure he's in the room right now.
Yeah, and he's probably saying, I know, yeah, yeah. There was only 3 of us there from the county. Dominic was there, the sheriff, and the registry of deeds, and myself. It was very nice.
I forgot about one reason, and
Yep.
I had another conflict.
Yeah, well, it's been several months, and, you know, I think a lot of people did forget. Do you have minutes for us to sign?
Yep, I give them to Commissioner Nelson, the regular meeting minutes, yep.
Yep. Oh.
See, they run out.
What about, do you have any else, or should I use the ones I have?
If you could use the ones you have.
No problem.
Thank you.
Except I put the date on the top.
That's
Does that make a difference?
That's okay.
I'll just do it when. Okay.
I'll get a clean copy if you're going back over to the office
Yeah.
after.
Looks like we're going to have plenty of time.
Yeah. I'm just gonna try to call him. Hey, good morning. Are you gonna come back or?
Have you gentlemen read this contract for the dog?
Which
I did.
one?
Did she send it to us?
Yeah.
Yep.
Just one on the dog.
Yeah.
Expensive dog.
Yeah.
Don't believe the things.
But, you know, they have the money, so.
At least they have a warranty.
I'll be right over.
Okay.
I wonder what the dog costs for a year. Because we, different things, the training, you know, with plus employee.
I know we have to sign off on the vet bills. And we just did one, didn't we, Melissa? We just had a vet bill not too long ago.
Yeah. I'm sure Dominic can give you
Yeah,
the
doesn't-
information, yeah.
But doesn't the person who has it host the special classes and trainings and all that? Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Volunteer letting my dog be there.
My dog could use some training too. I found a
Well.
clean one if you want to sign that one.
Yeah, you want to sign that?
The proper terminology is canine.
K9. Yes.
Ours is mutt.
Why is it a K-9? Why do they say that instead of just K9?
Why wouldn't it be C9? Isn't canine spelled with a C?
Yes. Oh, so many questions.
Last I checked, it was.
At least the dog comes with a warranty for a year.
It does.
Well, that's a big
Yeah.
plus.
Yeah.
And it's coming from New Hampshire. A lot of canines come from abroad, it seems like.
Yeah.
But this one's coming from New Hampshire.
Well, I know $8,500, but even, just to buy a regular dog now, it's up about $2,000 or $3,000. I mean, that's just outrageous. Not that they're not worth it.
So what you're saying is we should all raise dogs.
I raised dogs for many years.
Yeah, it ain't a moneymaker, I can tell you. Not
Yeah.
really, not a big moneymaker, it's a lot of work,
Yeah,
work.
I raised dogs.
Why?
Frank and I, we had a farm, a dog farm in Florida. We
Greyhounds?
had greyhounds. We had about 700. Yeah,
Good.
and it's not, you have to love them.
And they all have names?
Oh, yeah,
And you knew who was who?
yep,
700. Mm-hmm. You're working
Yep.
on my second one.
yep.
And where did they race?
We raced at Wonderland, we raced at Raynham, West Virginia, Florida, all over, so, yeah. Frank was traveling, I was on the farm with the dogs. Yeah. Training.
Now, if the dog, in a typical race, if the dog, what would be the prize for first, second, any idea?
Oh, I don't remember. Your long-distance dogs paid more, of course, but, yeah.
And I
Good
think
morning.
one.
Yeah, come on up.
Morning.
Good morning.
Just discussing the dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Canine.
Hey, excuse me. You're gonna get me in on that.
So yes, we get sent the purchase agreement for the canine. It's going to be a male German Shepherd, ready to be picked up by, I believe, the end of this month. So I was looking for a signature, even though it's just an agreement, but I think the commission should be aware of it, so. It is a typical type of agreement for a police canine throughout, as far as the requirements.
Can I ask a question?
Of course, certainly.
Do we have life insurance on the dog? This is a serious question. I mean, if it's killed and helping something.
Well, as far as specific, I'm not sure, but I would believe it'd be covered under Primex as an employee. But I can look into that for sure.
Just curious.
How old's the dog?
It'd be just under 1 year old, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then let's go into training.
And then it'll start training, obviously start off with obedience, and then it'll go into the tracking.
And you have a
Type of
handler
training.
already ready?
We have a handler picked out. Obviously, until you start training,
Right.
you don't know how that's actually gonna work out. But we're confident that the trainer will be all right.
If the handler leaves, does the dog go with him? Or how does that all work?
That would be up to the county. I would say, if it was my decision, not. Yeah,
No, it's a big
that
investment.
would have to be an agreement, whether, if it does, then I would expect the county to get the funding back, prorated or whatever, but however that wants to play out.
How did you come to pick this particular dog from this?
Through this program and our current canine handler, who is very hands-on with this organization, he trains with them also. So it was timing, obviously. We were trying to begin it in March, April, but that plan fell through because our handler became a new father. So we didn't want to combine all that newness into his life, so we held it off for a few months.
And the dog actually lives with the handler?
Yes, it will
Yeah,
stay with
yeah,
the
stays
handler.
with them all.
throughout,
Yeah. Did he have a choice if his wife had the baby at the same time he had to pick up the dog, what he was gonna do?
He did have a choice, and he was all for going forward with it, but I thought it was best to
Yeah.
pull it back a little bit.
It's a lot for a dog, too,
Yes,
I mean, baby.
yeah.
Cana, sorry. Any other questions?
My trouble once enough.
Are they typically that expensive?
Yes.
8,500?
Yeah, we have purchased one that we actually returned for that kind of money. This is $8,500. And we had one that was $8,000, Golden Lab, that just didn't have the drive that was needed, so we returned that and got the funding back. So,
And what do you primarily use the dog?
primarily it'd be for drugs, and it will also be for article searches, searching for lost people, lost children. We've had a lot of those type of calls, but not for specific for bite dog or anything like that.
If your person is off that day, what happens?
Typically, if we need it, we will reach out and call the person in.
Okay.
We've been successful with that. They do go on vacation and they will not be on call at some point. And there are a few other dogs around the county that could be used.
Fred, I saw your hand up.
Yes, Sheriff, you said once they get the K-9, they would start the training. Does the training cost any additional to the county, or is it in that $8,500 figure?
No, this is, the $8,500 is just the cost to purchase the dog. The training will require us, obviously, to pay the deputy to be down training. And with this, there may be because this is just the first half of the training, and then the second half, months afterwards, would begin the drug tracking and stuff like that. So that's a whole separate training. So there may be up to a $3,000 training fee as far as covering the trainers that, outside our agencies that train these dogs.
So the county would be paying an agency $3,000 up and above?
Potentially, yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
and that's the first half, and then there'll probably be an additional?
Well, that would be to include the two halves.
The two halves?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Any further questions? Okay.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And to sign, does he need to sign?
Oh, and,
If one could sign it, that's fine. I would get it later.
Okay.
yep,
And just so you,
Put that in
if
there.
you had forgotten, the $7,500 of this was through a grant that we received.
Good to know. Thank you.
she gave me a signature.
Thank you.
Hold on.
Well, my wife's still trying to train me after 55 years.
Good luck at this point, right? Thank you.
You're welcome. Rich, I see you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just not public, but
Oh, okay.
I can give you an update, I can do whatever you want to do.
Would you like to have any questions answered by the administrator, Mr. Kane?
Yes, that'd be
I can allow
wonderful.
you one question.
One question?
Just one question?
Yes, the question, I've always been this good looking.
Rich,
And
maybe Rich can
Of
move on.
course.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Is this the interrogation part of the meeting?
Yes, sir.
Welcome, Rich. I actually have two questions. You've been here about 10 months, and you had said one of the things you were going to do is work on the agency to get the agency staff down. Looking at the figures, that hasn't happened. It's continued to go up. That's question number one. And then question number two, you stated that The fine that the county received in the nursing home, that they couldn't do any training in there for a year's period of time. It has now been 18 months since that fine was paid, and I'm wondering, have you petitioned the state to have training over there? Are you training any LNA, M&As in the building now? Thank you.
Two great questions. I'm going to start with the second
Well,
one.
thank you. I appreciate somebody who likes my questions.
I'm going to start with the second one first, because I will probably, they're kind of dovetail into each other. So when they received the fine for the immediate jeopardy, you were disallowed to do in-person training for 2 years. I have petitioned CMS 3 months ago and we were rejected flat out. No reason other than no. We had support from local HHS who wrote a nice letter with my letter saying, you know, they would hope it'd be approved. You know, so we got the letter saying it's not approved, so we have to wait till April to start back up. That's one of the things that's on my radar to start up when we can get, you know, because that, as you know, homegrown LNAs are better than people that you can get from agencies or people that have been trained at other places.
Absolutely.
Number two, our agency's been flat. This time of year, it's very difficult. We hire a couple, you know, then we have people move, like I have a person going to Washington State. I can't win that. She's going with her boyfriend. Great, one of my best LNAs on 3 to 11. So it's one of those battles that me, Candace, and Director Sue have been battling every day. Every week I get a report from them. I also get a report from Bonnie to look at agency hours, agency dollars, what shifts. We did hire a full-time day unit manager who's going to help us with agencies, because we're going to move one nurse to do an M&A position, and it's going to snowball down. So that'll trickle down and help with there. So we're going to save 2 LNA positions there. Most of my LNAs are on 3 to 11, 11 to 7. That's how it's been since I got here. We're trying to do some creative things. That's one of the things that, you know, that I like to talk about, doing some more creative scheduling. So there's a lot of really, I'll say, interesting scheduling that some places are doing that I don't recommend here, but there are some other things that we might get up to help, especially with some nurses. So,
Okay, thank you.
did I answer them both?
Yes, could I do a little follow-up?
Fred, I enjoy our conversation, absolutely.
Would it be possible to, you know, pay the county, have any funds that they could pay some differential to encourage those people to come at that other shift?
So since we have a CBA, our last contract was very pro-employee. Without saying the nitty-gritty about the negotiations, but I think we are more than fair. I think we are more than aggressive with our differentials, which, if you look at last year's CBA versus this, it's definitely a lot higher. So yeah, we would love to, you know, shift some people from days to evenings, but when it's part of union, you get negotiations, it's not as easy to do if we were privately owned or even publicly, you know, a for-profit. So,
Thank you.
yeah.
Okay, we're ready to go non-public?
So, yep, we have a section C and section J. Rich is here for the C, and then your J non-public isn't until 11:30.
Okay.
So you want just C? Okay. Make a motion to go into non-public, and under C would be matters which, if discussed in public, would likely affect adversely the reputation of any person other than a member of the public body itself, unless such person requests an open meeting. This exemption shall extend to any application for assistance or tax abatement or waiver of a fee, fine, or other levy. It is based on liability to pay and or poverty of the applicant.
Second.
All those in favor, roll call vote?
Okay. Nelson, yes. McGee?
Yes.
McCarthy?
Yes.
E1035.
Are we going in our little room?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll have to ask my fire child parents.
How are you, sir?
You? Excellent. Went by your house the other day.
Any trouble?
Went by your house on the boat, I waved.
Really? You didn't pick me up? Wow, that's a big, that's a long trip over.
I don't mind the drive. I just going through the channel slows it down. But unless it's doing magic.
Yeah,
I use my boat a lot this year, more than all last year already.
yeah, I'm gonna go tonight, right? Like going out.
At night. It was
Going
pretty flat, it was pretty flat yesterday. Yeah, I didn't go out, but I was looking at the water over by me, it was pretty, but you know, it's funny, that's the way you are.
No.
Some, last time I went up last year, it was white caps, I got to the broad, it was nothing.
Oh,
It was flat.
Yeah, number of boats on Father's Day now.
Crazy.
At 3 o'clock on Friday, Mary says she can see them all rolling in, 3 o'clock on Sunday, going the other way.
Another like four.
She did.
I was ready for it to be over.
Well,
I felt more than 4.
It used to be paper forms, and now it's a computer.
They have to come out anyways, because the next one is
She was
different.
hired by a hospital and
And it's J.
J, right, so they have to read it
she
into
was a
J.
gold one, so she worked, they can straighten it all out. So then we got married, she went on to something else.
Good catch, Fred.
Wow.
So I'm watching, I'm
Yeah,
paying attention.
that's good. You're
They
watching the
didn't-
meetings.
I said they have to come out of
We're gonna come
non-public
out of
because
non-public now.
next one's going into
Supposed to
J.
go into J.
So if they didn't,
Jay.
then you're not legal.
That should be like the parliamentarian or whatever.
And how's your mom doing?
Good.
I'm learning.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oops, I guess we're going back into showtime.
He's gonna have some questions.
Oh,
I need a motion to come out of non-public.
I'll make that motion, come out of public and seal the minutes.
I'll second that motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
1114. Madam Chair?
Yes,
May I be permitted to ask the administrator of the nursing home a question?
you may.
I think there's 3 questions. I'll start with the first.
3 questions.
Yes, for one.
You said
Yeah.
8 questions.
You're pulling a Fred.
In reference to agencies,
Ouch.
we have about 4 different contractors, correct? I wanted to know, are these contractors on the approved vendor list? And how long are the contracts with them? And do those contracts, have they ever been renewed? I don't remember them coming through this board.
That's a great question. Currently, we have 5 contracts. They're all auto-renewed, and they're all signed before, like one of them we talked about was signed, I think, in 2020. So have they even gone from, someone from the board signed it. So the chairperson at that time had signed that one contract that I'm speaking of. The other 4, we're trying to figure out exactly where they're located. But most contracts are for a 1-year term, auto-renewed.
Was it this board that voted for those?
I don't think anyone from this
No.
board was.
Because I don't know how this board can be bound to contracts of previous boards, because I believe there was a policy in place that I'm remembering that you couldn't have an auto-renew, because then now they're all out of the loop. And my question is that I never heard an RFP go out for these different agencies. I don't know if one agency performs better than another, and I never hear that report back to them. So that would be a good thing to look at, because they should be in the loop, because I don't even know how much those cost. Is there a contract, a cost to them, et cetera? I think there was just 2 questions. The other question was, it's really important in any structure, including the military, is having who you report to. Who does the director of quality report to in this structure?
She reports to me.
Okay. I would advise, if you want to take the advice, that that structure should be looked at, not only the director of quality, but all the structure of who reports to who. it's always a really good idea to make sure that there are separations of power and to make sure that people are free to report back to you, so that to the board is always aware of things. That's always just a good thing, a rule of thumb to do.
And it's funny you mention that because I'm working with HR to do an organizational chart, so everyone knows who the direct report is, who's below them and the whole thing, so.
Yeah, the executive coordinator would remember for years now, including when the executive coordinator was a reporter, the idea that this county never had a completed organization chart that could be given to the delegation. So when they come in, they see this person reports to that person, these are the employees in this department. They never understood that, and we've always asked on the delegation for that organization chart, and it never happened. So that'd be good to see who reports to for future things.
Yeah.
I think that was all my questions.
I think there is one for that part, but we've never had one for the nursing home
Yeah,
that I know of.
I don't want to
I
misspeak
don't
because
either.
HR isn't here, but I'm not sure if we have one that goes all the way down to the very, you know.
I mean, it'd be good to see
I've seen it.
it go
before
from the
when I came
top.
on. Yeah, when I came on board, there was one for here over the administration.
Would that
part.
change very often? In other words, you have the graph, and all of a sudden you decide to change?
It wouldn't change very often, you know, director of quality is a new position, so that's a person. But it's something that I've spoken with Taylor, and I know Bob has something for his emergency preparedness that who's under who and who would call. So it's just kind of getting 2 or 3 different parts of that together for one. But the minute I have that, it's something I'll definitely present in front of the board because I'm accustomed to an org chart, so.
Yeah, because if this was a military organization, you are at the top. And everybody's supposed to be, going down from there. And I say this mostly because for the delegation members that are replaced every 2 years, you'll often hear them say, and if you question them, how many people even work in the nursing home? How many departments are there? Who's the head of this and when those changes happen, they don't really even know that. So if they had that organization chart, it would help during budget time also, so they know how many people actually work and where they are. Thank you for your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bob, do you have something? Or are you?
11:30.
Okay. Fred?
Yes, I would think that the commission should probably look into auto renewal contracts so you're not bound by a contract that previous commissioners had signed. So I think that even if they were into automatic renewal, that they should be brought to the board at their term so you can make a decision at that time. Thank you.
Just point of information, I typically don't do auto renew contracts, but if there is a contract that does have an auto renew, I have to make sure that there's a 30-day out. We don't want it to, we want that out to be close.
Do you know if the current contracts have that?
Yeah, since I've been here, they all have the
For
30
the
days.
nursing home?
I don't know about the nursing home.
What was the question? I'm sorry.
Does the nursing home contracts have that 30-day out?
I was actually talking to someone that had a 90-day out, and they said, I will never sign a 90-day out. So most of the contracts that I've ever done has always had a 30-day out.
So the 5 that are currently in place, what are those?
That's something I'm gonna research.
Could you get back to the board with that?
Absolutely.
Now,
Thank you.
what's the out?
30
You
days.
can terminate.
Terminate.
Oh, the term, okay. yeah.
Most of ours are both sides, so it's like 30 days for no
Cancel,
cause.
right, that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Good question, Ed.
Yeah. We have that.
Thank you.
All of them.
So what is our role?
So I get paid the big bucks.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good week.
You too.
Okay.
I don't know, I've seen that.
And you're going back into non-public
Going
for the
back into
11:30,
non-public. Yes.
under J.
And we're going to use this room.
Okay.
Bill?
Are you going to conduct any business afterwards?
Then that's the end.
That's the end?
Second. Yeah.
Yep. We need a motion to go into non-public.
Under J,
Yeah,
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
so moved.
I'll second that. Okay. consideration of confidential, commercial, or financial information as exempt from public disclosure under RSA 91A:5(4), in an adjunctive proceeding pursuant to RSA 54 or RSA 541A. The first one is RSA 541 or RSA 541A.
All those in favor, roll call vote?
Nelson, yes. McGee?
Yes.
And McCarthy?
Yes.
Is that still RSA 91A32J, or is it?
No, it says, no, it didn't, I don't think that's what it says. I think if I
Colon,
read that
colon
right.
3?
Cold.
Yeah.
Yep. No, it's just a colon.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
thought, yeah.
Yeah, just want to make sure you're done. Was there a motion, a second, and a vote? I didn't even.
Yep,
I
we did.
interrupted.
You did a roll call vote,
Okay,
yep.
11:23. Get out?
Yep.
Yeah, out.
Out.
Pack your
And you
stuff.
can leave, it's good, you're free,
So the reason they call it a K9 with a K
Yeah.
is because the CA sounds like K.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. And the term was first used in 1942 when the U.S. Army created the military K-9 Corps. In 1959, the U.S. Army registered the word mark K9 as a federal symbol, and it has since become commonly used for dogs in general, including police dogs, service dogs, and working dogs.
Here we go.
Fun fact of the day.
Okay, maybe we should add that to the agenda, having a fun fact. Thank you.
I could